I'm Shelly Gaza. I am directing Julius Caesar.
My name is Jennifer Radalka.
My name is Jessica Lynn.
Hi, I'm Joe Hilsey.
And I am working on the blood effects.
I'm the costume shop manager.
I'm playing Julius Caesar in Julius Caesar.
We decided to go with real stage blood, or the stuff, pretty early on in the process. It was really important to me that we had that realism to it. And I just love the visceral effect that has on an audience. That gush of red, the shocking moment, I love it. And so I was really glad and lucky that the team was on board with it. So we started talking about that pretty early on, and we've been just focused on that bloodiness from almost day one. The idea of stage blood, for me, is always great. And then you have to start making the plans for it. So artistically, I knew it was always part of my vision for the show, that we would have those moments. But then practically, you have so much planning that has to go into place. It touches, it really basically touches just about every single department in the production.
We started thinking about the logistics of these blood moments in January, and it's now June. As the costume shop manager, I coordinate between all the departments to make sure that the blood serves everyone's needs. So not only does it look the way that the costume designer and the director want, but it is also applied in a way that works for wardrobe to clean it, also that it is safe to use near the floor that the scenic team is painting, as well as coordinating with stage management and the director and the actors to practice and make sure it works for their blocking.
I've had to do a lot of things to ensure that we get the right formula for the blood. I tested probably around 8 to 10 different kinds of costuming blood that we have in stock. We did samples. I tested different kinds of removing methods and how to clean it, how we prep the costumes, etc. I worked a lot with the costume department as well. There's just so many different things that you don't think of that kind of pop up last minute that you kind of have to problem solve with when it comes to blood. I am demonstrating how we do the water squibs for our water practice rehearsals in Caesar. We use water in place of blood in the beginning so that the actors can get used to the feeling of the squibs in their hand, and they can get used to the release of them and the timing, and so that the actors and everyone else can see the general effect that these squibs are going to give. A little bit of water. We want this to be pretty big. And then the key is just tying off the bag with pressure. So the pressure is key because the more pressure, the more bursting effect you're going to get, and the easier that this is going to pop. If there's not enough pressure, then it's just going to kind of squish around inside the bag. If there's too much pressure, then we're going to get way too much of a burst. And remember, we're just looking for a nice little seepage down the front. Maybe a little bit of squirting, but not too much. You just cut it off. And you have a nice little baggie.
I certainly like the idea of stage blood. The practicality of stage blood, however, is something else entirely. Well, there's whatever substance you're using. I've used many different recipes of blood. You have your corn syrup blood, which is very sticky. You can use, a lot of people oftentimes will use laundry detergent so it washes out of the clothes. The problem with that is if it gets in your eye or gets in your mouth, it's tough to recover from that, and I've experienced both of those. Trying to say Shakespeare in iambic pentameter with a mouthful of dishwashing liquid is not the easiest thing.
Hi, I'm Antoinette Robinson, and I'm playing Mark Antony. I am always for the blood. Bring all the blood that you can to every production. I love it. And like in the myriad of ways that it'll come. I've seen blood done with like sheets. I've seen blood done, like substance, sticky, watery. I am for the blood.
I enjoy the puzzle of trying to it's a magic trick, right? And trying to figure out how to find something that's sustainable. If you're doing it in a film or whatever, you're just doing one wet take, with blood, but in this, having to figure out how do you preset blood? If you have to wear it on your body for the whole show, how do you manage the sleight of hand to hand off blood? I enjoy all that problem solving, both as a fight director and as an actor. At least when it goes well, I enjoy all that. I've certainly had the experiences of, you're preloaded with blood packs and they go off at the wrong time. I also have had blood packs in my mouth not go well, where it bursts too early and I'm trying to get my lines out with a mouthful of blood. But I do enjoy and have a lot of good and bad experiences with blood. I tend to try to make it simple so that it is something that is kind of foolproof, because if it can go wrong, it will go wrong at least once. You'll have a blood pack that just won't pop. You'll just have an amazingly strong plastic bag one day, and no matter what you do, it'll just not break. Or you'll have one that's just leaking and you don't know what's going on and you're feeling something inside your shirt and you realize the blood has been leaking down your chest for the whole show. But I enjoy the problem solving of all of that. I think it's great. As an actor, I do think it's helpful for the process to have the blood. I think it's particularly helpful to create those striking images for the audience more than anything else. There's just nothing like the spray of blood when it goes the way you want. We had a couple of, here at Colorado Shakes in King Lear, every once in a while when I played Cornwall, I'd get that blood eyeball to pop just right and it would go back on my face. And those were always the best, when you can, those little unexpected things, just for the imagery of it, I think is what I really like about it the most, yeah.
My name is Karen Slack and I am playing Marcus Brutus. Yes, we are going to have some blood on stage. I've worked with stage blood many, many times in my career. I have various feelings about blood. For instance, the last time that I was in Julius Caesar, I played Cassius, and we were outside here on the Rip, which was amazing and fabulous. But towards the end, after, Cassius meets their demise, I was left on stage for the remainder of the play with a blood capsule that I burst in my mouth. And so there's blood, but that year it happened to be very sweet and sticky and bugs. Bugs in my mouth, bugs crawling around my whole body, bugs. And I'm dead. So I can't swat them away. I just had to pray that I wouldn't eat them. And if I did, I had to, convince myself that it was really high in protein and that it was going to be fine. So I have various feelings about blood. And what's fabulous about blood is that you can think you know how it's going to be every time, but it's always some sort of unpredictable factor, which I tend to enjoy. I like that it's a little unpredictable.
For me, as a costume designer, when I'm asked or told, we're gonna do blood, the first thing I always ask is, are you sure you're sure? Because I have to be honest, when there's blood on stage, that's what people look at, right? It immediately captures our attention. And so you have to be really conscious about making that decision. We have 2 different blood moments in this show, and one needs to have a really large volume of blood, particularly because people need to interact with it later. So that affects how much we need to produce in that moment. And then the other one needs a very, very small amount of blood because, again, we don't want to draw too much attention with it. Nobody has to interact with it. The biggest consideration when talking about blood is how long does this show run and how many times do all these things need to survive turning red? And particularly for this show, everything that's getting bloody is white. And partially that does us a favor because we can bleach it. And also, we're all a little nervous that everything's going to be pink by the end of the run. Another consideration you want to look at is is the person coming on already bloody, or is the blood happening on stage? And so that's what's going to affect the viscosity you're looking at. For instance, I know that in a blood moment from a previous season when they did Mackers at CSF, they really needed the blood to stay on hands, which is a really different effect than we need to get this year. So we're looking at a really different viscosity.
My name is Brian Wayne, and I'm the shop supervisor and props designer for Colorado Shakespeare Festival. Having blood as part of props, I don't think it's a negative thing. It's actually really fun. Like, the more special effects things we get to do makes the job way more exciting. But yeah, blood is fun. Everybody loves blood. I've seen Julius Caesar without stage blood with lighting effects, but it's in the script. You got to make it happen somehow. They've got to get their hands in it. So yeah, you got to stick to the script sometimes.
So it's always fun to figure out how you're going to execute what's in your mind. And I would say that there's one moment, well, not to give too much away, there are multiple moments of blood in the show, and there's one particular that I'm most excited about, because I think that there's probably a moment that most audiences that are familiar with the story, which a lot of them are, right, that they're gonna kind of know, okay, there's probably blood in that scene. But then there are some other moments where we had options, and there's one particular moment that I'm very excited about. We have planned for it, but it is going to take coordination from sound, light, props, costumes, the actors. It's going to be a really complex moment to execute. I'm really excited about it. I know it's going to be great, but that's one that is, it was particularly surprising to figure that out with the team and decide to go with it. So I won't say any more about it so that there's a surprise, but I'm really excited about this.